how valuable are these final couple hours before game one in terms of reminding everybody of their responsibilities?
Yeah, I mean, we've had 3 days now, so I'd say the hay is in the barn for game one. You know, everybody knows what they need to do. Everybody knows, you know, the task at hand, how big the challenge is, and now it's about going out and playing and competing at a high level.
Coach Sean Blakely, NBC Sports Boston. When you look at this Milwaukee team, a lot of focus is on Giannis Antetokounmpo, but speak to the challenges some of those other guys present to a team from a defensive standpoint.
Well, they're now fully healthy, which they haven't been, you know, pretty much all year. So, you know, obviously there's tons of talent on the other side. You know, last year's Rookie of the Year comes off the bench in Brogdon. Obviously Parker, you know, has been an elite scorer and has really had a good ending of the season. Middleton averages 20 a game. Snell can really shoot it. Like they've got really good players all over the place. Bledsoe obviously has given them a different dimension in transition, and then the bigs are elite, running to the rim and both pick and roll and in transition. So this is it's a really hard team to play against. Really talented team. You know, I think Coach Prunty puts them in great positions on both ends of the floor. This is you know, we're going to have to play exceptionally well, possession to possession, to have a chance to win.
Hi, Brad. Brogdon has just returned to their lineup. I mean, just how much does he add to what they already had?
Well, Brogdon and Dellavedova are winners. They're both back. Those guys both impact winning. They're both tough. They both can score, pass, defend, make plays for themselves and others. Brogdon obviously, you know, had a great game here at the start of the season. You know, beat us here last year at the end of a game. He's a really good player. So, you know, again, that's what you're going to run into in the playoffs. So, you know, it'll be a great challenge for our guys.
How excited are you to see Terry Rozier get this type of moment? Because he's told us that he's pretty pumped up and the team's going to play with a chip on their shoulder.
Well, I'm excited for all those guys because this is a great opportunity for those guys. And, they've prepared really hard, they prepared really well, and now I want them to go out there and play free and have fun and again, do what they do best, and that is compete. You know, and I think that Terry is a big-time competitor. Terry's excited for the challenge, as is everybody else. There's a lot of guys that get increased opportunity in our group that maybe they didn't think that was the case 3 months ago. And so it's a tremendous opportunity for them. And again, I've been really pleased with how we prepared for it, and we'll see how game one goes.
Coach, you said that this is the first time that they've been healthy all year, and they had a couple games toward the end of the season, but as you go into a playoff series, how do you work on what you anticipate them doing from a rotation standpoint? Do you think what you would do if you had that team, or do you just go based upon the final couple games that they had? So how do you anticipate what they will do with their rotation?
I would say it'd be hard to go in the final couple games because of the minute restrictions that those guys were on. So I would say that, you know, you try to do as much as you can from a research standpoint on how they played in the past, minus one guy, or how they played, you know, at the end of last season, or how they played early on against us, or who they decide to go to, depending on the lineups that are put out there against them. You know, I think that there's a lot of information out there, but obviously now fully healthy, they'll be able to make those choices, and you know, we'll have to adjust accordingly.
Brad, when you're in the playoffs, usually the core players for the opposing team will play increased minutes, and I'm sure it's the same for you, but does the amount of minutes that someone like Giannis will play affect how you draw up your rotations, or are you just going with what works best for your team?
No, I mean, yeah, it completely affects what you do and how you look at it and everything else, depending on who's in the game, what your best defensive matchups are, etc. Where you might feel like you've got an advantage offensively, yeah, that all plays into account in the playoffs. And I think that not only that, throughout the regular season. I mean, when you're trying to prepare for a regular season game, you're thinking about all those same things. So I don't think it's anything new. I think it's obviously accentuated because of the amount of minutes that, you know, a guy like Giannis is likely to play or whatever.
Coach, you talked about how Shane changes the pace of the game so fast. How important is change of pace in the playoffs?
Well, I think being able to play with pace the entire game, not necessarily always scoring in transition, but as you're executing your offense and doing things at a high level is really important. Shane's ability to quickly turn defense into offense, Shane's ability to play in pick and roll and make plays for others, get rid of the ball at the right time or know when to keep it. You know, those are things that we're going to really rely on him for. There's no question that ball handling is a critical part of this series. You know, we have to be able to handle the ball. We can't turn the ball over because we have no chance to guard those guys on runouts. And so our best bet is to run great offense, get a great shot, and be able to set our defense. And so obviously a guy like Shane becomes even more valuable with his ability to handle the ball.
Thanks. Thank you for having me.